Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now. Bayo Bab, stand my ground. Bro, these money trees go overseas like Percy Tau. I make sure you stay around, quiet when I'm under loud. No negatives allowed, me and positivity took a vow. I always play to win, don't anticipate loss. Mind always in the clown, my boy. Never think about the drop, never ever ever think about the drop.
Welcome to it, sports fans. It is the MKT Show. I am MKT, and I'm all right with that. I've given it some thought, and I think we're going to make it here. I think we're going to be just fine. A cracking Friday. It is a cracking Friday to be alive, because people aren't dying anymore. Looking at some numbers. The numbers say to me, more people surviving. They're getting vaccines. Where am I with that whole thing is I'm very old. I should have been vaccinated already, but I'm only halfway there. So am I a hypocrite? Possibly. I've got 2 more weeks and then I can go for my second jab. So feels good to probably reduce my chances of dying to human beings that I'm glad have not died, regardless of COVID or not. One is the most Portuguese human to possibly ever live. Paulo, yes. Paulo, what's happening, Paulo?
What a painful intro. That was actually... Here are 2 people I'm glad aren't dead.
Jeez, that's why I'm MKT. I'm okay with that.
There's lots of days where you off the cuff, but some days you just script it.
Yeah.
Just write something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just a mind map or something, just so you know where you're going. Because that, when I'm introduced as, thank God he's not dead.
That's dark, eh?
No, I suppose it is good. I mean, if all I can bring to the party is
being alive,
then I suppose I'm off to a good start.
Well, then I have to ask this, what's the worst thing that can happen in life?
Death.
Right? So I'm glad that the worst thing in the world hasn't happened to these 2 people.
But the ceiling is very high, I feel.
Yeah. So a lot of things can happen before death, eh?
So what are you guys saying?
So death is ultimate.
So where do I need to go there? Is 2 of the most handsome, articulate, brilliant.
Yeah, give them a bit of a heater. Like, they're not dead, okay?
So it's not about the compliment. It's you. I like that your egos have come into it, and I love that about both of you guys. Is that what you need is you need the scope.
I'll stop you right there. What do you always say? There are no prizes for being alive.
Well said.
That makes you a hypocrite then.
So you're saying, and by the way, that's the handsome face of Senzo Stebe. I am a hypocrite there. And you know what? You've called me out, yeah? And now I've got to let that ruminate, sort of sit inside of me. Guys are not happy. Essentially, what I've said is you and amoeba are the same thing to me. Because you're both not really dead. If there's any sort of algae that's alive on a river now, you share those traits. You might as well be amoeba. And I hear you. That's a backhanded compliment if ever I've heard it.
What's the sort of criteria for us to start this whole thing again? Roll the intro again.
Let's try it again.
We need. There's probably a multiverse where in the 18th universe over, I've probably done this in a professional manner, like a David O'Sullivan, a Robert Marawa, where everybody's like, okay, this is clearly a sports show with somebody who's professional.
Morbid, yes.
But this isn't one of those. Thank God.
No, but we can only go up from here. It can only elevate. Don't worry.
I like what you've done.
There's room for improvement.
We've turned it around. Here we go. Turned it around. That's the kind of attitude I'm after. Paulo, great to see you. Senzo, Rick and Morty, very, very good. How many seasons of that they're going to make, though? Because that type of show can only be good for so long.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's about 3 seasons they needed. I think they're on 4 or 5 now. It's about the money, and it is tough to make that kind of edgy stuff. It's like Archer, kind of lost it now. You just needed 4 seasons of Archer.
It's like Suits when they started
No, it's not like Suits. Suits was terrible from the beginning.
when they just became criminals and were allowed to practice law, I was like,
nah. Thanks, Guy. Thanks for ruining it for me. I was just about to binge Suits this weekend.
Shame.
I was just about to go home and start watching Suits after the show.
Yeah.
Till 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Yes.
For the homecoming. I was going to binge Suits,
much.
Yeah.
And now you've ruined it.
Senzo is quite self-centered, and he's in denial about it because.
Were you really gonna watch Suits?
He's here, gonna worry.
I know Paulo was joking.
Yep.
He's actually just kind of ruined Suits for me.
Oh, okay. So Jimbo, by the way, that voice.
Megan ruined Suits for me.
Yeah, she's a princess now. That's Jimbo. That's James. People are saying weird kind of thumbs up there. Do you have any sort of dexterity on that thumb? Maybe you can just give it to us again. Yeah, not really good technique on the thumbs up. Can't see whether you're doing thumbs up
Probably lost a
or you're just doing a fist. There it is, a little bit better. It's still not quite upright. But Jimbo, what you're saying, you were going to watch Suits. I mean, where are you in that whole matrix?
I think I am on season 3 or 4.
Stop. Quit while you're ahead, my man.
You're enjoying it. You like the...
I was, but now I know that they're going to be criminals, and I'm really sad about it.
So is the princess lady still in Suits at the moment? I mean, what's going on by season 3 or 4, wherever? I mean, the whole show is trash. Let's be very clear.
Actually, they're criminals from the onset.
I don't care. To be honest, I don't care. It's a rubbish show. Jimbo, good to see you, pal. Maybe shave this week and get a haircut, but whatever, that's fine. You clearly don't care. Great to have you on board. Today we've got the Friday 5 recent events. I mean, listen, South America is clearly doing, and I hate to say this now because we do have a Zulu cameraman as well, but you know they did try and burn down the country. Okay, fine, whatever. That's tribal. They can deal with that at home. But the Argentines and the Brazilians tried to burn down international football. They did try and do that. I saw that. I watched it. Guys are lying at the airport. Some guys are pitching up in joggers to say, we're here to arrest you. I thought I might turn it around. Let's rebrand. Who are the 5 greatest South Americans to ever play in the Premier League? You see, I've turned it around there from a negative. We'll talk social media, and then we got Flip Funamava, the long lunch at 1 o'clock. Remember, if you're joining us on YouTube for the very first time, hit subscribe, leave your comments below if you're watching post. Ladies and gentlemen, cracking show coming up today. That and much, much more coming up after this. Great call. Great call. Now, if you're new to the show and it's your first time seeing that and you're wondering what's going on, I was speaking to you there because you've chosen to watch this show. I presume you have agency. I presumed before you came here, you're not in sort of a Taliban bunker, let's say. You know, you're not watching this under duress. I'm just saying these are the kinds of things that happen. So, you know, shout out to everybody who is in a Taliban bunker. For one, that's an awful place to be. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but good call on being in a place in your life where you can afford to have the data to watch this.
You're in a dog place, eh?
What do you mean? Well, a Taliban bunker would be dark as well. Not quite as dark as that, yeah.
Yeah, but
What's the story?
thinking about, like, you know, people being alive and they're not dead, and then Taliban bunkers, like, what happened?
No, I was thinking about you being alive. I said, I'm glad you're alive. So maybe you're in a dark place.
True or false?
Yes.
This show is the only show that they're allowed to go into North Korea to say, you see, that's what the West is all about, and you want that. It's the only show.
Let's take a lifeline. I'm not ready to answer true or false. Oh, man. All right, let's see what's happening on the tweets before we get into it. Tabo, so James, maybe you can tell us how to say that name, because you have butchered it before on Twitter. One of our listeners has said it. So let's get into it, Jimbo.
I do know how to say his name because I read the tweet.
Yep.
And I read who it was from earlier. And then I read it the wrong way the first time, and I was like, no, that's not how you say it. It's Tabo Padi.
Okay, and
Right.
for people who listen to the podcast, why would that be confusing? Why would I be saying that?
Because his surname is spelled Pali, and me being James thought it was Tabo Pali, but it's Padi.
Yeah, it's because he's from. So there's a few versions for international listeners, and obviously the Zulu and the Xhosa Nation, which I'm a part of. One of those tribes is maybe the most ignorant tribes in South Africa, because both tribes think we're the only people who exist, and you can't deny it. But there's different types of Sotho, just so you know. So there's Northern Sotho, which is the Pedi one, which is where my mom's from. Those are the people that are, they'll just sit in the corner and do nothing about anything and wear carvelas everywhere. Now, there's another part of Sotho, which is actually the warrior tribe. Those are the people from Lesotho, and we refer to those as Southern Sotho, or Moshweshwe's people. Many warriors and victories in war. So they're not like my people who were just softies up there. Essentially, James, the Pedis are the after kids drinking lattes and having man buns, right? And doing nothing for society. And the Sothos down south, they're the people that are going to put an elbow in your face if you're not careful. That's why that L is a confusing thing for people.
You are lying.
Talk about taking an L, right?
Yeah.
You are so lying.
Taking an L.
I see what you've done there, James. You're comedic. Let's hear from a Zulu person who
You
says
are
I'm
so
lying.
lying.
Go
There's
ahead.
no Sotho person who can fight anywhere. Sotho people just stood out on a mountain and they threw rocks at people. Give you an elbow. Don't lie to people.
There we go.
Don't mislead people.
I mean, that's the Zulu in him coming out, right? Because, by the way, people don't realize this. Zulu people think there are Zulus and everybody else. Just to let you know where that sort of furor was coming from. But let's go back to Tabo, who, all right, maybe they just threw rocks at people. That's what Senzo says. Is this show going to start a tribal war? I don't know. Like, if we do, that's awesome. Shout out to this. It'll be great for the subscribers. But anyway, Tabo Padi says, why didn't United go for Pjanic in their search for a CDM? I know he's 31, but Ronaldo is like 97. Laugh emoji with the tear above the eye somehow. MKT inspires. That's me, obviously, on social media at Cliff C Sport. You know what? I'm going to let Man United fans answer that. Pjanic, Man United, do you fancy an unathletic playmaker? Because you've made this mistake before. You bought another 31-year-old in a similar mold before, Paulo. I know you love him.
What the nuance here is that the tactical genius of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is inventing a new formation.
Okay.
It's called the false midfield. So you know you have false nine?
Yes.
Yeah, he's inventing the false
False
midfield.
CDM.
So we're going to try win
Yeah.
anything
Without
without a midfield, right? So why would he need it? It goes against his tactical genius.
I hear you.
This is the only reason. So that's why Fred, McTominay, it doesn't matter. False
Doesn't
midfield.
matter. I like
It
what
will
you did there.
be. Well, yes.
Yeah.
That's Solskjaer's legacy. False
False
midfield.
midfield. So that's like a donut.
He wants to transcend. He's transcend football.
He's transcending for why need a midfielder?
Because Pep Guardiola played a false right, a false two.
Yeah.
So all
No.
he says, let me show you.
False midfield.
It's going to happen. Norwegian guy, because you know when you figured out the world, like it's safe, bridges work, cars, your
Happiest nation in the world.
your public transport's so much better than having a Lamborghini. That's the country they're living in.
Your prison is better than most 3-star hotels.
So he's bored. Like you're saying, false midfield.
False midfield.
Let's reinvent something that's...
He's going, there's so many positions.
Yeah.
Why obsess over a middle? That's middle.
The middle.
So it's not even the best or the worst. It's just the middle.
Let's forget it like the middle
Let's
child.
forget it.
Oh, that's so smart.
False midfield.
False
You heard
midfield.
it here first.
Yes.
We don't need Pjanic because he's an expert midfielder. Who needs that in their life?
Not Ollie.
Not him. No.
Not Ollie. Not Norway.
No.
There's no way. he
Not
was
the
gonna do it.
Norwegian Gareth Southgate. No, not him.
Oh, my Lord.
So there you go. You heard it here first.
I'm so
Okay. All right. That's enough. Okay.
I'm so dead.
All right. Let's move on from that. Okay, as I do every single Friday, the Friday 5, I'm going to tell you the 5 greatest players. Welcome, you can give us that music. Shout out to Welcome in the back. Great haircuts in the back. Unlike some people on the set, in the technical area, Welcome always looks after himself, looking always like a gentleman. But let's not get into it. Friday 5, the 5 greatest South Americans to ever do it in the EPL. All right, at number 5, listen. he was probably the best player in the league 16-17. 24 goals in a season. Just incredible in a team that was absolute tosh. It was sad at the end. Nowhere he's ever been settled. He's been to 3 what I'd call big clubs. 1 in Italy, 1 in Spain, and then he ended up at the Arsenal, and he just never felt settled. He's one of those people, we all have them in our lives. Nothing makes them happy. What he is, enigmatic, but brilliant. At number 5, the terrific Alexis Sanchez. He's a brilliant player, but Udinese didn't work, right? It didn't quite. Barcelona didn't work. Arsenal, he was brilliant, but it was ugly at the end. Why? Never happy. It's going to happen. We know these people. At number 4, 2 titles, 2012, 2013. He was in the team of the year. He's a leader, all-time pro. And this club was transitioning and is now dominating English football. And he was a rock at the beginning, along with Vincent Kompany at number 4, ladies and gentlemen. The great, because he is in Premier League context, Pablo Zabaleta. He's a proper player. Up and down, defensively responsible, terrific delivery. And again, you might say a B-Tech type of Ashley Cole is, you have him on the right, don't worry about it. He's there at his peak, don't worry about it. Now the coach can focus on everything else. Zabaleta, an absolute animal and a leader in his pomp. I absolutely loved him. At number 3, this one will be interesting. This guy's the most unique figure I think I may have ever seen in the Premier League. And it had Eric Cantona, it had Klinsmann. But this guy is interesting. 3 Premier League titles, but he's a legend, a genuine legend, right? I don't care what you say. He is a legend if you're honest with yourself and get out your field at 3 clubs. It only took him 1 season to be a bona fide legend at the club he landed at, along with his central defensive midfielder mate before. It took him 1 season, half a season. And he was overweight for that entire season, by the way. 3 EPL titles. He's so good. Probably the most demanding manager out there right now in Italian football said, okay, you know what? I'm sick of you. And even he brought him back mid-season in his 3rd trimester he looked like he was in. He went on to lead them to the title. He's an absolutely incredible figure. West Ham had him. That goal, we know it, he's offside, but it happened. He's a legend to the Irons immediately. He did what he did at Manchester United. You know, for 2 seasons. Rooney, Ronaldo. And at number 3, the great legend that is Carlos Tevez. Because I don't care if you like him or not. It was a terror. Him and Rooney. What defense wants that? Because Carlitos is unplayable technically, and then the work rate with Rooney, and then you put in have you heard of Cristiano Ronaldo? No wonder they went 3 in a row. This guy was unstoppable. And then, of course, he went to City and welcome to Manchester. We know what happened there. And he won a title there. And he's, forever, he'll be the guy that went to Man City and, proverbially stabbed Man United in the heart. Because he went and won a title after going to play golf for 6 months. Just incredible talent. Incredible talent. At number 2, the only person maybe on any football list anyway who's actually officially a cannibal. That's what he is. We've seen it now. If you're human and you're near him, he will try and sink his teeth into you. He did it in Holland once, and he did it in England twice. And then he obviously performed what he did against Ghana. 13-14 is obviously the season. I only needed that season. The rest is don't waste my time. He made Danny Sturridge, and I've said this before, look like Eusebio, which is impossible, right? That is impossible what he did there. He was nasty. He is a nasty piece of work. But the great ones can be. We've seen Michael Jordan's documentary now. We understand you got to have that edge. Otherwise, you're not getting to the top. At number 2, the brilliant Luis Suarez. He is brilliant. He is brilliant. I know in Africa we cannot stand the sight of him for what he did to Ghana, but it happened, and that's what it is. At number 1, it's not even close. It's not even close. He never bothered this guy to learn English. Say, don't worry about it. I'm so good. The coaches don't need to talk to me or be able to understand me. Doesn't matter. We need 2 translators, both at practice and for the interviews. He's got the 4th most goals. It worked out, right? Everybody panicked and said, have City overspent at that stage. 5 EPL titles. That goal. I got 2 Man United fans with me, but that goal, we'll remember it. Martin Tyler, his voice broke for the very first time. Incredible that Martin Tyler was going through puberty at about 97 years old. But at number 1, the one and only, Sergio Kun Aguero. This guy, I don't care who you are. This guy is when you put your feelings aside, he's one of the greatest technicians the Premier League's ever seen, because what he gives you is the hold-up play. Forget the finishing. He gives you the hold-up play, right? And he gives you that fear factor. Is that if you have it anywhere near him from 25 yards and in, it's murder on the dance floor, because it's like having really the strength. You've seen the quads. It's like having the Brazilian Ronaldo mixed with Luis Suarez and Tevez, because he's got a nasty side as well. Some player. The only criticism I have of him is that he went and married a Maradona. It's the only bad thing he's done since he's been in England, was that he thought it was a good idea to get married to a Maradona. Hey, maybe, you know what, have a kid with a Maradona, good for legacy long term. But at number 1, the great Sergio Kun Aguero. At number 5, so it's the 5 greatest South American players of all time. At number 5, Alexis Sanchez. At number 4, Pablo Zabalé. At number 3, Carlitos Tevez. At number 2, Luis Suarez. At number 1, the legendary Sergio Kun Aguero. Go ahead, gentlemen.
I'll raise you Gilberto Silva.
One great season, invincible. I did have him on the list. I went through a list of 10.
Over Sanchez. I'll raise you over Sanchez.
So you'd take him over Sanchez. Gilberto.
No way. Sanchez.
No chance. It's not even close.
No way. Sanchez.
You think so?
I mean, he fell off a cliff towards the end of Arsenal. And that was probably because Chile decided they're going to play in an international tournament every summer for 7 years and run him into the ground.
Yeah.
No, Sanchez was phenomenal.
He was insane.
Sanchez was
Do you know what they
phenomenal.
used to call him
on
in,
stage.
when he played at Udinese? Ronaldo 2.0.
24 goals in that second last season.
Really?
24 goals in the Premier League.
Sanchez was
like,
beast.
It's just because you know what happened is, I think it's clear why, because people in football talk. Udinese, it's clear the talent was too good for Udinese, and it's clear that he's too good for Arsenal. But after Barcelona, it wasn't just about the talent.
Yeah.
There's a reason Chelsea didn't go there, Man City didn't go there, or Man United didn't go there. It's like,
We did go there.
because there's stuff happening.
We did go there. We made him play the piano.
Yeah, but I mean, Man United at that stage, that's not what you want to be. A City at Chelsea the last decade, and both clubs came nowhere near, because something was going on at
True
Barcelona,
that.
and he was doing it at Barcelona that last season. But they said, there's something else, and we saw it at United. Look how that ended. Look how Arsenal ended.
Yeah.
Look how Barca ended.
And he's at Inter. Nobody's heard a peep from him.
But brilliant. I have to say, just absolutely brilliant. I love Gilberto, but nah, come on now. No, he's...
Do you know Zabaleta? He told Kun Aguero, told Tevez, guys, you guys are messing around. That's why you guys are unhappy. You don't know the language. Carlos Tevez. Have you ever watched the Carlos Tevez interview?
Yeah.
Carlos Tevez barely speaks Spanish. Yeah. He barely speaks a language known to man. But that's unnecessary.
Speaks football.
So you're staying at United. Difficult. So what about where you going next season? Difficult. That's what he said. I was like, this guy.
Carlitos Tevez, Paulo, your thoughts on...
I like to throw in, because I'm a 90s football kid, Juninho.
From Middlesbrough.
You know,
yeah, that guy was about
you know,
it.
if you're younger than, like, probably Senzo's age, right? And James's age. But my generation, like, if you were watching Premier League now for the first time in the 90s, a player like Juninho, you had never seen that in the Premier League before. You had never seen that really anywhere before. To just come and, you know, the Premier League now, they play on carpets. That's size 5.
Tiny.
Tiny little guy. What he was doing then, if you had to put Juninho, I mean, I think probably the best technician we've ever seen in the Premier League is David Silva.
For sure.
Right? I think we
For
can
sure.
safely say
For
that as
sure.
a technician.
No one's close.
Juninho, what he had to put... David Silva never got touched. You couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
You couldn't look at him. And he played for City.
Yeah.
Right? Juninho was getting smashed around every week. Brian Robson was his manager. Emerson was his midfield partner.
Yeah.
And he was still doing it in the
He was
Premier
doing
League.
Do you know who Juninho...
And he was some player.
No, he was... So it's easy to forget because of the era. But what he was able to do in the Premier League under the circumstances...
He came too soon. Because the Premier League didn't really, like you say, didn't have that. You know, even if you were Cantona, you still had to have that nasty side. Bergkamp, nasty guy.
Yeah.
Juninho was just your classic...
He never had a resort to it, though. You couldn't catch
Yeah.
him.
No, he was brilliant.
They tried to. They just couldn't get him. He was, for the time, he was just outstanding.
Yeah,
You
he
just
was brilliant.
did not see a player like that.
Would single-handedly get Middlesbrough to 15th.
You know what ruined it? Was then they tried to do a rock and back. Remember Fabio rock and back?
Yeah.
Like technical... Oh, that hair.
Rockenbach looked like the real deal. You know, I mean, he was at Sporting for a while and he was at Barcelona. I mean, that guy had a weird career and in Middlesbrough. When he was at Sporting, he did look the real deal. Of course,
Yeah.
Portuguese pace is completely different. But you could see what people found in him.
Yeah. The hairstyle, talk to me about because Ronaldo had that blonde thing
That little
at
curly.
the beginning.
Yeah, the little bit of a curly thing.
Is it a Portuguese thing, Paulo?
No.
I mean, I don't want to stereotype.
Rockenbach had good hair.
He did have good, but he did the blonde thing. With
That
just
was
the
the
tips.
90s, man. That was blame
the thing.
NSYNC. Don't blame Ronaldo.
Boy band boy.
Who was the guy in NSYNC who had the? It
Justin
wasn't
Timberlake.
Was it
Justin
JT
Timberlake.
who did
No.
the?
No, he had curly.
No, the other guy. There's a guy who did. I know
JC Chazet.
Was that him? I don't want to just say the only other guy we know from NSYNC.
No, there's Lance Bass. No,
Was it Lance
How do you know
Bass?
so much
Kirk
about
Patrick.
NSYNC?
Yeah,
I think
Senzo.
we're doing it though.
You see, this guy, this is how I used to pick up chicks. You used to send them NSYNC lyrics.
Yes.
His love letters were
You're not
text.
denying that.
On his
either.
BBM. On his
Guys,
BBM, he
NSYNC
used to send...
NSYNC were
I know.
the ones.
Talk to me. Talk
Guys,
to me.
those
I know
guys
this guy.
sold 1 million records in one day.
Yes.
Guys, NSYNC were everywhere.
What's their best? All right, let's get into it. I mean, I
Yeah.
like this passion that I'm getting from you. Top 3 NSYNC songs.
Pop. It's gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
And bye bye bye.
He really loves
It's unbelievable. Look how you just racked it off. Jimbo, your thoughts on NSYNC and Senzo's knowledge of... so it's pop, it's going to be me, and bye, 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 huh?
You are. Is that is that the end of the question?
Yeah, just your thoughts on NSYNC. I mean, have you heard of them? Because you're like 15 years old, so maybe you haven't heard of them.
I have heard of NSYNC. I'm more of a Westlife kind of guy.
This is unbelievable. I'm learning so much about everyone here. Now, James, you were into... Because we all go through stuff, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about... do you maybe want to give me Westlife's top 3 as well? Just so we have it on record?
Look, Westlife is so near perfect. I can't give you a top 3.
Oh, all right. I see what you're saying. You don't know any of the songs particularly. You just like the whole
there's
vibe.
a lot of songs that I know. I just there's Queen of My Heart.
Oh, hold on.
Oh yes.
Okay, Queen of My Heart.
There's Leaving.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. And then there's
So you only know 2 songs.
No, there's one that's a banger that I don't want to leave out of this list. Flying Without Wings. That song when they do it live is just it's a banger.
How do you know it's good live?
Because I've listened to multiple. I haven't seen them live, but I've listened to multiple lives.
Paulo, Westlife have been to South Africa, haven't they?
I saw them. I did go watch them live at the ex Dome.
Yeah.
Now a car dealership.
Yeah.
My wife fainted. That's how enamored she was. We weren't married yet.
Whoa! This is crazy. Am I amongst like boy band fans? What happened?
What were you doing if you weren't listening to boy band?
No.
My wife fainted. And I was like, this is ridiculous. You fainted. I thought you were better than this. The paramedic excused her, said, no, it's due to the lack of oxygen when
Yeah?
you're in the crowd. I don't think so. It's a little Irish accent.
Now, Paulo, hold on. Great stuff that you've told me that your beloved fainted, because as guys are ego creatures, I don't care who. Everyone thinks they're the best looking human being in the world. What's happened there to your feelings?
Not compared to Westlife. Those are beautiful bunch
So
of
you
men.
knew, hey?
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
And they can sing.
So you
Nicky,
understood it.
Shane, I love me a Shane.
He knows all the band members.
No,
and
that's
you
what I'm
give me-
saying. I
That's
realized
my guy. That's my guy.
And then he's
that's
here
Shane
laughing at
defines-
me.
Yep.
This is
that's my guy.
unbelievable. I didn't realize.
And he wonders why he's single, eh?
This is unbelievable.
That's my damn guy.
So wait, is this? Wow.
This is why you're single.
So you guys are boy band, just
Mate.
hey?
Tune in next week for the spin-off show MKT Boy Band.
Oh, boy.
These are wild scenes.
You're playing games, bro.
These are honestly, I didn't know
Quit
this.
playing games with my heart,
You know what I mean?
if we were to say.
Love everything that just happened. I love
Because you're
all
tearing
of
up my heart.
Wow.
Bye, bye, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that one, that's Paulo Diaz. Hey, this is all. Hey, bye, bye, bye. The MKT Show. Good call. It's a good call. It is a good call. I mean, what the MKT show. That's what you're listening to, watching. And Senzo doesn't like that I mentioned the Taliban and you watching this show. So, I'm kind of crafting it for a Friday. You want to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Senzo, you got a problem with the Taliban?
Huh?
Why do you have to hesitate there? I would have thought.
Do I have a problem with the Taliban?
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Wow. Okay.
Because I've never been, up close and personal with them.
Okay. So okay.
Do you have a problem with the Taliban?
I do. I found in my 35 years I've got a fundamental problem with all sorts of terrorism. Like I'm not just saying the Taliban, all terrorists who kill men and women. Yeah. I'm pretty certain.
No, I do have a problem with the Taliban.
It took you a while to get.
No, because I don't want to be offending them. You know what I mean? I was being politically correct. But on the real though,
your parents should be proud because you are that sensitive. Even though they've shown themselves to be Neanderthals, you're still thinking they have human rights. I like that. They deserve to.
Here's a very valid point. Donald Trump is not allowed to tweet, but the Taliban is.
Do the Taliban have a tweet?
Oh yes,
a Twitter account.
Yes, they do.
They like got quite a PR.
Yeah, they're quite
a PR.
Didn't you see them dancing to Drake the one time? Oh, those guys are about it, though.
But was that edited in, or did they have Drizzy that side?
Drizzy they were going in on Drizzy.
What do you think the Taliban thinks about Certified Lover Boy?
I think they prefer Donda. Any terrorist.
No. But they speak about Jesus on Donda, so like.
Oh yeah, that's
scratch that.
Can't have that. So what do you think? Certified Lover Boy in who decides the top 10 charts in
Afghanistan?
Yeah. Or no, in Taliban land, because there's lots of nice Afghani people. I just want to let's narrow in on the Taliban. Who's deciding? Top 10. Now Certified Lover Boy. What do you think the guys are?
That's actually a very good question.
You haven't thought about that. As to what do they think of the new album? Because nobody ever asks the Taliban. It's always about stop killing people, whatever, which is right. But nobody ever says, do you think Drake is a good lyricist or he just has good writers? You know what I mean? Nobody ever... Mm-hmm. And who knows? Maybe I'm saving the world by saying, let's have a different conversation with the Taliban.
Exactly.
But I don't know that. And I'm not into the Taliban, by the way. But
I'm also not.
Well...
Excuse me. Whoa. Do you know the people who watch the show? Now I'm going to be getting hits now and then.
James, your thoughts on the Taliban? Because it kind of took Senzo a while to get there. Just your immediate thoughts on sort of terrorism and brutal middle-aged Neanderthals.
So I did actually want to jump in earlier, but I just thought I'd let you guys take this one. I think terrorism has a very negative connotation towards it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a very...
But what are your thoughts on it? I'm sure the connotations are in society, but just your thoughts on terrorists.
I mean, they have wives and children, I suppose.
This is unbelievable.
No, but
Paulo, just hold on. Paulo, I would have thought maybe it's a generational thing where James and Senzo, they're from a different generation. Oh, let's hear both sides. I'm pretty clear what I think about the Taliban.
You know how I feel today? Have you ever been the designated driver and everyone around you is trashed and you're trying to make sense of life? This is what I feel like today. I feel like the designated driver, and it's like £5 shooter night at Jolly Rogers.
And one guy is busy peeing somewhere that they're not peeing. The one guy's telling you that he loves you so much, and the other one is just, he's there in body, but not in...
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I will pay for the Uber, actually. I cannot deal with this.
And we have all been that guy. So, all right, shout out to Senzo and James, who want to kind of hear the other side of the Taliban story and what got them there. I just want to be very clear as the host of the show. I am anti-terrorism across the board. Took Senzo and James. It sounds like they're still not sure, but let's move on, you know? We got other stuff where the Taliban is active. It's called social media. Let's jump on to what you got from me on social media, Senzo.
Well. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just had my iPad played me a Les Ferdinand strike from the 90s.
Oh,
yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was fantastic.
I heard that audio. I thought we'd kind of move
That's why I
past
was
it, but
checking
let's
my-
get into what happened. Were you looking at...
It's just, just going through your Premier League posting, Les Ferdinand scoring against...
Look at that cut.
Yeah,
Someone asked for a Les Ferdinand. next time I
this
get a
was
haircut.
like early 90s. Les Ferdinand at QPR. That was a beast of a player, if you want to talk about
Yeah,
beast.
Les Ferdinand.
And there was did he play with Ginola? I can't remember when he was...
Yes.
At Newcastle.
And Newcastle played with Ginola.
That whole situation was
I'm
awesome.
also surprised when you talk about South Americans, you don't have time for Faustino Asprilla.
Because he was about that life. Like, so I made a list. I wanted guys where...
He's got a condom company. He's got
Like I
branded
said.
condoms.
That's brilliant, though.
He invites journalists to his ranch and they ride around just firing guns.
Like I said.
This guy's too cool.
Isn't he the ultimate sort of stereotype of... When you think Colombian, that's what I think. I think there's a guy with lots of money just doing it.
We definitely want to be killed today because we've had a chirp about North Korea, the Taliban,
We've gone at the Taliban, now
Yeah.
we're going to...
Colombians, and we've dissed boy bands. All we have to do now is start making fun of K-pop. What's the one? BTS?
Yes?
Who's that big... make fun of them?
I know who you're talking about.
We're definitely getting taken out by the time we leave the studio.
That's Son's best mate as well. I remember they were doing that thing. Oh, now it's skipped my mind.
It's
But
BTS.
well, yeah, BTS and Son Heung-min are like buddy, you know? They're always on like social media. We're brilliant. There's Kia, there's Samsung, there's us. South Korea. They are doing it. Shout out Son Heung-min, shout out BTS, and shout out K-pop, by the way. I do like the sound. Don't speak any Korean.
That's fine. They do English songs. I saw on MTV the other day.
Yeah. So this is all good. James, you're young. You probably watch Naruto. You probably like are into it. Like, oh, it's the storylines, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, don't watch Dragon Ball Z. It's all about Naruto, dude, if you're watching real anime. K-pop?
So a couple of my friends are really, really into it.
What?
And they talk about it quite often, and they always play me the latest BTS song and tell me about the latest anime and how good that one is and all of those things. And it's not like a thing I'm into really. if I'm honest.
But tell me this. You know how now, because we have so much information, especially your generation, James, I kind of feel like there is a stage, because it really hasn't changed, but there is a stage where guys are probably into K-pop just so that they're different rather than actually liking the music. And they're just so into it because now I'm interesting. Like, oh, Drake, forget about it. K-pop. Do you actually know where K-pop started? Like, are your friends like those people?
No, they're genuinely into it. They've watched and listened to K-pop and anime that you probably will and have never heard of.
Hold on, is that racist now? Because anime, different country, different tribe of people, completely different country. South Korea, and sort of Japan.
So anime is an animation style. It's a style.
Yeah, so what they've educated me on is exactly that. There's different like styles of it. And you can't call certain things anime.
Oh,
and
you see.
can call that thing anime. And
So wait, does South Korea have anime?
I think anime is...
Oh, I don't like you said that. You said I think, and now the only thing you're going to be is racist from here without trying, because we do need to be careful, because Japanese people right now, there's probably 2 Japanese people who watch this show for all of their sins, and now they're going to go, wow, that is racist. So just be careful with where you go from here. Is anime only Japanese? Answer that. Do you know that? I don't want to hear what you think. Do you know? Don't you know? And that is important. That's quite clear. Just like my position on the Taliban, absolutely terrible. I'm certain of that. I'd like you to be that certain. and it's okay to say you're not sure.
So
No,
according
again,
to
I think there's different variations and different styles of.
All right, James, it sounds like you have no clue, and that's fine. Paolo does have Google to tell us what's going on.
according to Wikipedia, anime is hand-drawn and computer animation originating from Japan. In Japan and Japanese, anime describes all animated works regardless of style or origin. So all animation in Japan is called anime.
Okay.
However, outside of Japan and English, anime is colloquial for Japanese animation and refers specifically to animation produced in Japan. I feel like I'm listening to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer try to explain the false midfield to me. But animation produced outside of Japan, and this is probably solves our story, with similar style to Japanese animation is referred to as anime-influenced animation.
Now, that's why. So I was right in the beginning. Let's not be racist here. Is if it's produced outside of Japan, just because to us in the West, right, they probably think black guys all look the same, white guys all look the same. Korean people are going berserk right now because it's anime influenced. And I mean, I will not have that on the show, James. I'll never have you again.
And also, you forget the Japanese and the South Koreans don't like each other.
Well, I'm not getting involved in that.
No,
I'm
but
just
they
saying
don't, though.
they're not the same tribes. I'm not going to get involved. Obviously, if you're going to go Toyota, Kia,
They'll tell you.
You do Panasonic, we do Samsung. There's going to be problems. Hey, charge it to the game.
Speaking of social media and animation and things that we watch,
Yes.
the Matrix Resurrections trailer dropped yesterday.
No, great jump over there. There is a whole situation there, and we probably do need. Well, we'll be as careful as we can around this one because the original was made by brothers who are now sisters who are now actually. Did they do this film as well?
I'm not too sure, but the trailer dropped yesterday, and they say it comes out on the 22nd of December next year.
All right, have a look to see if it is. They've got the Polish surnames.
Wachowski brothers.
But yeah, well, I mean, be careful now because they both have transitioned.
Well, then they were the Wachowski brothers.
And how are they being referred to now? Let's just say they have made this film, and they, of course, speaking to the Wachowski, what is it? Wachowski brothers.
Only one of the
it's
brothers
Lana
or
and
sisters.
Yeah.
I'm not
They?
sure what's.
Yeah, one of they. Yeah.
Only one of they did the movie.
Was it Lana or Lily?
Lana.
And what happened? What happened to Lily? It's just like, I hate Keanu Reeves. He's gone weird.
I don't know. I read about it a couple of months ago or a couple of.
It's not very good reporting, James. I got to be honest.
So essentially, Lana was part of the writing team.
Okay.
Of the film.
Yeah, it's Lana.
And I don't think there's a lot of reference to her in any of the credits. The other sister.
You know what's happened is Disney have gone, all right, how much do you need? Get out of the way. That's what's happened because there's no way I'm watching this because Mickey Mouse is probably going to pop up somewhere. NFL advertising because they just took over Fox as well. Like, they're going to ruin this movie. It's going to happen, especially if the two people who didn't invent it wasn't... I would imagine it's what we were talking about earlier. Bad Boys 3 must just be a dumpster fire because if the original people, Michael Bay, shout out to you, ruined Transformers, obviously. Ruined the whole of Transformers. Absolutely terrible. Not sure why Shia LaBeouf is in there. It's about Optimus Prime and that crew and let's go Autobots, let's go. But Michael Bay is just going explosions. But shout out to Michael Bay for letting me sit next to him in a studio, by the way. Big flex there. That's what happened once. But he did ruin an entire franchise and my childhood by making the most deplorable film sort of trilogy of all time. Shia LaBeouf, terrible actor. Also ruined a Michael Douglas film, Money Never Sleeps, Wall Street, of course. Brought Shia LaBeouf in there. I don't know what's going on there. An all-timer, Charlie Sheen before Tiger Blood. Of course, the role of all roles. Gordon Gekko, Douglas. Paolo, need I say more?
I know. I'm all about that.
I do know,
Yeah, but he did
all about the 80s movies.
He did tank that movie.
No, Shia LaBeouf, come on now.
Sam Witwicky.
What are we doing? Anyway, kind of gone off a little bit. Matrix 3, what are we thinking there, Paolo?
4.
I mean, how many do we need? Paolo, your thoughts? Your Matrix guy?
I didn't even realize there was a fourth one. I watched the first one. I can't say it's something I enjoy. I enjoy. I don't know. It's just for some reason, I don't get it.
So shout out.
You know what? It's one of those movies. Sorry, that's actually been parodied so much.
Yes.
You barely remember the first one was.
No.
Yeah.
It's like being in a Rick and Morty.
I know what you're
episode
saying.
Of Rick and Morty. Yeah.
So Senzo's saying no because Senzo he'll watch anything. So Senzo,
Guys,
go ahead.
The Matrix is groundbreaking. The classic. The Matrix is bad.
Why?
Not dope that movie is.
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm speaking to.
So no, well, tell us. I mean,
Nah, it's okay.
What's the story? I mean, you can't.
I'll save
sell
my
them.
breath to cool my porridge. It's fine.
Oh, there we go. He's emotional. Keanu Reeves, your guy, or what is it?
No.
You just like,
Do you know Neo?
yeah.
Keanu Reeves. Will Smith turned that role down. So Will Smith. Neo was supposed to be Will Smith.
So maybe Keanu Reeves only did it because it was an entrapment. Entanglement. Sorry, could be. Shout out. Hey, Will Smith. Maybe take that movie. You never meet Jada, and then maybe your life's better.
Before.
Oh, they were. So he was always in the Matrix.
Wow,
really.
he's Mike Lowry.
He might tell you I was already in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I was already taking the
He's
blue
Mike
pill.
Lowry.
I'm glad his kids never became more famous than they did for a bit.
Well, these kids are a bit.
No, well,
They're a bit different.
but you know what the thing is, like, whatever it is, I just hate it that, like, I would hate it if his kids' fame transcended him.
Yeah.
And then he'd forever be remembered, oh, Jada and
Jaden's
Willow,
dad.
whatever.
Jaden and Willow's
whatever.
dad.
Yeah, dad. I was like, I think that'd be a pity. It's like Beckham, David Beckham. I'm glad his kids aren't famous.
Yeah.
More famous than him.
I'm with you.
You know, because that'd irritate me that it's like, oh,
But
that's...
Will Smith, certified legend. First rap Grammy.
You can't deny that.
You
he's
can't
done
deny
it.
it.
You don't have to
He's
like
top
him.
entertainment.
The body, like there are douchebags out there, and then there's guys with just a body of work. Like, and also, I think it's an interesting one because sometimes we forget, and some of the stories that are coming out about how he treated his fellow staff once he got famous on Fresh Prince. Let's put that aside. Is that you forget what that show did for racial, like that transcended. It was one of those first ones, right, Paolo, where everyone watched it. And it wasn't just like, oh, you got to be a cool white guy. Like, everyone watched and, relatively speaking, loved that show.
It was like the Cosbys first, and take Bill Cosby aside.
Yeah.
It was the Cosbys and then Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where it was watched not because it was a comedy about a black family, and didn't matter that they were a black family. They just happened to be a black family. And everyone was quite into it. Fun fact, that Will Smith, for 5 years, has been older than Uncle Phil ever was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Uncle Phil died like 2 or 3 years ago.
2 or 3 years ago. And then Oscar buzz, Will Smith, very hotly tipped
Okay.
to win an Oscar.
It's about time.
He's playing King Richard, Venus and Serena's dad, the biopic of Venus and Serena Williams and their dad. So Will Smith plays the father.
So this is the third time he's going to be like portraying somebody like serious in a movie. I hope
He's got to do it. He's done Muhammad Ali.
He's done Muhammad Ali. He did who's the guy in Pursuit of Happiness? Christopher.
Yes,
Yeah. The accountant guy,
Yeah,
Rain
that
Man
guy.
vibes.
And then
Never seen it. But
and will now be.
do the
never seen
Oscars still
Pursuit of-
matter? Because they're to me, they're a joke. After it's just become a mess, right?
It's just become like a super woke
Yeah. It sucks.
disaster.
It actually sucks.
It's just a woke disaster.
For me, it sucks because it's not about the art anymore.
No, it's about everyone's political statement.
Yeah.
And listen, art has always done that. But now it's like the political stuff's coming to the front. Where's the art? Like, only certain art now is going to be allowed in purely because now at the front is the politics. And it's like spilling over. Ew. But Will Smith, shout out. Listen, not for me, because I like a little edge, but the body of work speaks for itself. Mike Lowry. Right? You went from Mike Lowry to the accountant Rain Man dude.
Went from the Fresh Prince to Mike Lowry.
Come on, bro. Put some spec on.
Put some. Then they made him Hancock. Anyway, that's a story for another time.
In your feels there again, Senzo.
No.
So you like The Matrix and Will Smith?
Also, there's no black guy that don't like Mike Lowry. You want to be like Mike?
He was the shout out to Will Smith for opening it up because now white chicks are into black guys. That was a huge part of it. Shout out to those of you that are dating white
Guys,
chicks.
a cool cop that drives a Porsche. Mike Lowry.
And isn't corrupt.
Mike Lowry.
Put some spec on his neck.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right, that's film talk. Big film talk on this show, a sports show. But a sports entertainment show. That's what's going to happen. Mike Lowry. On the other side, we know what's happening now, South Africans or anyone in the Southern Hemisphere, right, where there's decent weather. Even up north, it's still a heat wave. So if you're on our timeline, we know what you're doing now. You're not going to a meeting. You're already, it's about midday, midday probably in the UK, 1 o'clock PM here in South Africa. We know that you've booked a meeting and 45 minutes away. Let's call it what it is. We've got Flip Funamera on the other side for the long lunch at the MKT Show. You took the blue pill. Shout out to me making a Matrix reference right there. Senzo, your favorite thing. Thought I'd cheer you up because we absolutely hate that movie. Your thoughts?
You're quite young. I wouldn't think you need a blue pill yet. You need
My guy.
I like that.
It's a cheap joke. I'm sorry.
No.
I should do better.
No, you know what? It's the little things. The Japanese say, take care of the little things.
That's why you take the blue pill for little things.
Listen, well said. The Japanese say, take care of the little things. The big things take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Because you took the blue pill.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to the Japanese. They are incredible people. Shout out to the South Americans as well. Shout out to the South Koreans as well. They're all good people. And I just want to say at this stage, I admire you if you've done anime or anime influenced. I'm not like James where I'm going to be controversial and kind of give credit to the South Koreans for Japanese stuff. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to roll like that.
You're not biting.
Or I'm going to put spec on their name. Yeah, I'm saying. I do like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have a man on the line who last week apparently shot about 150 on the golf course, give or take. I've rounded up there a little bit. Listen, Cambridge guy, Bulls guy, and just all around good guy. And I've just left it at Bulls because I'm just thinking we do need a bit of good South African PR right now. So I'm not going to mention the awesome career he had in France. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Flip Fanamava. Flip, what's happening, pal? Oh, that moustache, get out of here.
November and September.
Good afternoon, ladies.
That moustache is incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff. How long have you been growing that? What are we thinking there? Keep that till November?
I obviously shaved it off this morning, and that's the growth from then.
Jeez, that's big man flex. That's like I am so masculine.
That is awesome.
I'm the quintessential man.
No,
that is awesome.
To be honest, I had an interview with the bank the other day, and I just thought, if nothing else works, a little bit of a moustache would show them I'm a responsible human.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Give me the money.
You got to get that. What do you call the pencil one that the obviously stereotypical French
the
guy
real-
would have? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we do. Hey, you're looking good, man. So do you quickly want to talk about the disaster you had last week on the golf course?
Yeah, but definitely not worth skipping the long lunch for that, man. Definitely not worth. I apologize profusely. It was about as useless as Senzo on Safari.
Oh, that is brutal.
But yeah, the golf was horrible. Beautiful course in the middle of nowhere. Place called Poitiers. Nothing but a golf course, and a place called Futurama or something like that.
Oh, that's a good show.
Where you can fly without gravity.
Huh.
Yeah, France.
Real place. Yeah, you can probably see that I've got my hybrid here. You probably should have called for sort of lessons.
I thought it was a Knopkiri. Happy to know you've got golf clubs.
You thought he was going Sean Penn on us.
I do like that. By the way, I'm joined in the studio by the boys as well. Just so you know, we can maybe, just so you know, I'm not talking alone here. We do have Senzo here. We do have Paolo here. So there's been quite a bit of talk this morning about the Taliban. There was talk a little bit about what else did we talk about?
The Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix.
Senzo takes a blue. Mbolelo takes a blue pill.
pill.
He takes blue pills.
Ah,
So
Well done.
that's just for the little
well
things.
done for coming out. We're very proud of you for coming out and being
Yeah.
open.
No, but no, wait. They haven't. That's just for the little things.
Yeah,
So-
it is for the little things.
You guys, I don't know how this happened. You guys didn't give it any context. And then next to him, of course, shout out Paolo Diaz. Have you met Paolo
Yeah, mate.
before? I'm not sure you've met Paolo.
Yeah, we've been on before.
Oh,
Not in real life, no.
Not in real life, but over
Only in
on
the
air.
Matrix.
We've met on the long. We've had a long lunch before.
yeah, we have. And while we're at it, sort of our generation, Flip, your thoughts on The Matrix as a movie? Did you ever watch it? Did you have to do it in school or anything like that?
Did I have to do it in school? What do you do
What?
with the Matrix?
Well, yeah, it was
I
in
wish
English.
I was in the movie. I watched the first one. It was amazing. The first one was amazing, and I did hear there's a fourth one.
Yeah, but
Do
only
not
one of
know
the
where
sisters.
I missed the other.
Yeah, it's only one of the
Yeah.
sisters. I'm not sure if you know. I mean, a touchy issue, but both brothers decided not into the whole. They don't identify as men. They've both transitioned, but only one of the sisters is involved. So I do worry that when people who were there in the beginning, it's kind of like the Bulls. Kind of like the Bulls. You Oaks were there at the beginning, and like you said, when they did the Franz Ludica thing and they, did that, have the Bulls been
Yeah.
ever good again?
They might be Curry Cup champions again tomorrow evening. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean,
I like how humble you are there. You've gone Curry Cup. That's where we are. When you guys were just reloading and loading those Super Rugby titles, like, hey, let's pile that on. Was Anton Leonard your captain when you were there?
no, it was Victor Matfield.
Yeah, he hasn't had a bad career.
No, he did all right. I mean, average
what-
player. I don't know how he got there.
Yeah, I mean, Victor Matfield.
Yeah.
What a team you
they
had.
shared,
I mean,
they shared. It was Victor Matfield and Farouk Depree, two average guys leading a team.
I mean, are you kidding me, Farouk Depree? Tell me this.
Yeah.
I think we might as well start there. I mean, I do love greatness. What did you guys do in your spare time? Just like, are you still in touch with like a guy like Farouk Depree?
Oh yeah. We still have a chat every now and then. Farouk runs a successful investment shop for part of the Atterbury Group, if I'm not mistaken. So the guy's doing pretty well for himself. Not only successful on the field, off the field as well. Superhuman. Probably a scratch golfer these days. Everything's just going well. We do hang a lot. That's the fun part of creating a bond, brotherly bond through rugby, as you stay in touch afterwards, and you went through so much together, so many tours together, and you know so much about each other's lives and families and stuff that you can stay in touch easily.
Farouk Depree, that just makes sense. Like I do imagine him. I'd imagine married guy, probably has two perfect kids that are going to do actuarial science, and then they're gonna like invent the cure for cancer. You know what I mean? He is Like, I got to tell you, I think he's the greatest number 9 rugby's ever had. I genuinely believe that. I'm not just saying it because he's South African. His box kick was like a mule, by the way. I've never seen anything like it.
Exactly. It's just probably the best rugby player ever, Jack, in general. Like, he just understands rugby. Not only positionally great. You could, he just, when he had a ball, he had so much time to do anything. He just understood stuff. You used to talk to forwards, and then you just see everything go above our heads. Like, we have no idea what he's speaking about. Just like, mate, just give us the ball, give us something to run at.
Exactly. Oh man, I do love that guy. And by the way, there's no way we could ever get him on this show, huh? He's probably making billions for somebody in like.
We give him a call, mate. Who doesn't want to speak to the guy with the biggest name board in what do we call this? This is not TV. This is not radio.
It's entertainment. It is the long lunch. It's entertainment. If we got listen,
you not entertained?
Are you? Who's that? Senzo, you were quoting that the other day. You do. By the way, Senzo will watch anything.
Gladiator. Don't even think about it. Oh no, it's not Gladiator. It
is Gladiator. It is Gladiator.
It's Achilles.
No. Are you not entertained? It's Gladiator.
It's Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. That's Gladiator.
Oh, Flip, you got to stop watching those.
Maximus.
The problem is he's moved to France.
I was thinking about, is there anyone else? That was Achilles.
Is there no one else?
But you know what happens? He moved to France. Now he's watching those French cinema nouveau with the long cigar.
With the long cigar, yeah.
No, watching Chocolat.
Oh, Chocolat, great film. That's Johnny Depp. Shout out to him. Maybe his best role ever, actually.
Les Miserables.
Okay, shout out to Hugh Jackman being able to transition and sing as well. Les Miserables, you seen that, Paolo? Absolute cracking film.
What's Emmanuel? Emmanuel's French. Eh?
Oh no!
No.
I watched that a lot.
No.
Yeah. If you laugh at that joke, you're giving away your age.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen. Let's talk about your. Tell us about the golf course before we get into it. How bad was it? What did you actually shoot, and what went wrong, and how do we get better from here?
Everything went wrong, basically. The big thing is that we played a little 9 holes on the Thursday, which I absolutely demolished. I was so good, and then found a couple of friends, had a few drinks on the Thursday. Went to bed a little late, had an 8 o'clock tee off. Not warm, a little bit confident, took out my driver off the first tee. Probably smashed the house about 5 kilometers away.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. And then from there, just went downhill. Honestly, couldn't. But shout out to the guys organizing. It was fun. It was good fun. It was like 35 degrees as well, like getting a little burn. And I was very keen to get on the show, have a little live golfing, but I just thought the humor wasn't there. I couldn't lift my head, and if I had to swing a golf club on live TV, on live entertainment,
that's it. Yeah, no good, huh? You guys play golf, Senzo, Paolo. It's all about business. You got to be getting into it. Let's all schmooze each other. Let's talk about golf. Let's be golf. Let's golf it out. Let's eat always bad burgers at no matter how you get to in South Africa. In fact, around the world, every single golf place I've been to, terrible burgers. I don't know what the story is there. Is you're charging people the GDP of South Africa to have a membership. Just can you get decent artisanal bread for the rolls?
Yeah.
But you guys play golf?
Nope.
No. I was wondering as you're asking that, is like in the media world, is playing golf a thing? But it probably like why I'm not successful, because I'm left out of these golf games.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. It's not that no one plays golf. It's that I'm just not invited. I don't play golf though, but I could.
Maybe you should start.
Isn't golf to men like the Chardonnay to Houghton housewives?
Well,
it's like
just an excuse.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
It's just an excuse to get out.
That is a good point. I mean, shout out to mostly. Guys that are playing golf, let's just be serious. If the marriage isn't over already, it's on the slide. So, Flip isn't saying that, but I'm saying that it is basically your marriage is over and you just want to be out on the weekends and get away from the wife. So
I noticed a lot of guys mountain bike now.
Yes.
So before mountain biking is becoming the new golf. So you'll go ride together
That's what it is.
It's like a bit of business thing to ride together.
It is a thing. Is as soon as I get divorced, at least I've got something to really get into. Because mountain biking, like golf, you don't really have to get into shape. Is straight off the divorce. I already got my mates. Let me get fit as well. Obviously, I got to get the person who's half my age for my midlife crisis. I got to get in shape. Mountain biking probably a better investment.
Mountain bike first, Billy the Bum second.
If you're South African,
That's true.
Hey, well said. All right, Flip, you're actually here to talk about sports a little bit. I mean, we might as well do the long lunch. Shout out again to everybody who's doing the fake lunch and put it in the calendar to make it look official. Hey, are you hearing this? I don't know if you've caught any of the cricket news from England. Are you hearing that's been cancelled, by the way? I'm not sure if you're quite aware of what's going on there. Wow. Just your thoughts on what is going on there.
It was the decided test, so the decided test has been cancelled.
It's over
today, and you had to start over.
Yeah,
it's a bit sad because it was pretty good. A South African guy doing pretty well for the English team. I wasn't aware that it was cancelled. Actually, I thought they were still debating of whether the Indian variant is actually existent or not. But yeah,
Senzo's got something for us on that. Senzo, I mean, so first of all, just before Senzo gives us that, I mean, the Indian guys. I was thinking about it, is of course you want it cancelled. You've won the series. And if I'm a player, I want it cancelled, and maybe you can speak to this before Senzo comes in to this, is have you ever been in a series where it was over or anything like that, where your bonuses are tied into winning? Not like, I can't imagine this would have been a stipulation. You know what I mean? Is they've won the series now. I want the 1 million rupee bonus or whatever it's going to be, right? True. I've never myself been in that situation. Obviously, as any player of a sports or in a tournament, you do get a bonus if you win the tournament in the end, or you do get a bonus if you win a rugby match, stuff like that. So you would have the little motivation to do that. But yeah, the cricket it's an interesting thing. Also, I mean, money speaks. When is the IPL starting? Isn't that starting soon? I'm glad you said that, Senzo. Deliver the news, because that we're going to go there immediately. There is something about that. But Senzo, what you got?
It's just they're trying to figure out the red tape around if India have forfeited the test or do they win the series. So it's a bit ugly now.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah.
So they're trying to figure that out. But I'd also so it might take away from them winning their first series in like a long time in England, but also what I don't like is that the English guys are busy complaining in the media. Why'd they forfeit because of COVID and all that? But didn't the English do the same to us when they were here?
When was that?
The end of last year or this year.
Oh, you mean like we're not coming anymore?
COVID concerns, we're leaving and all that. So that's a bit hypocritical.
Didn't India cancel us or something? Like didn't want to accept us to come to her, or
and also England as well. So it's just all of that. But like it's very weird because the thing is, India are saying no. I mean, there's COVID.
Yes.
We really can't play. So it's not because we're forfeiting. It's just protocol.
Oh, I'm honestly like people are about. We're in sports entertainment here. It's about the money, guys, because. You said the IPL thing, right? Is that you don't care about the IPL, because if you cared about the IPL, you wouldn't even have come to England. If it was about COVID, we would have cancelled all the tours. Like, don't lie to us, guys.
Yeah.
I want sportsmen to get paid. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Flip? Like, I mean, let's not do this. But maybe
I'm a fan of the IPL. I'm a fan of the IPL in general. It's just the thing is, you get it's small enough that you get only the best players playing the best players. It's massive entertainment, as you said. I mean, are we the IPL of sports shows?
You got to ask that at the stage. That's big questioning. I mean, we do have a guy who went to Cambridge, was part of a Bulls dynasty. He knows Farid Apria personally. I mean, how many people can say those three things? So at this stage, are we the IPL of broadcasting?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
No. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the IPL. I'm a fan of a guy getting paid if you're good. If you're good at whatever you're doing, get paid. I'm not a fan of a guy slouching around and just getting paid because he's a sportsman. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 situation. And then IPL is good to watch. And shout out to France for not showing any cricket whatsoever.
Oh, really? So what's the story
No.
there? Just like what's on the sports
Mate,
channels in
I
France?
have no idea. It's just they prefer croquet or something else. Like there's just no cricket. And then our little local sports distributor in South Africa, where
Yeah.
as soon as you try and watch something over here, it's just blocks everywhere, and you have to they force you to be a criminal and to
Yeah.
VPN and to whatever, all those type of things to just watch a cricket game.
Now, I'm glad you've said that because we do have somebody called Paulo Diaz in here who is actually a sort of a media aficionado, and he sits in rooms with the types of people you're talking about all the time, and he will have words with them. Paulo, you kind of work with the yuppies, and you're a big time. I don't even know. There's no word for what Paulo does. He's just like a machine at what he does. Paulo, this sorts of conversations about what Flip has just said is like, it must be tricky for traditional media guys. Like Flip now lives in France. Hey, I still want to see what the Bulls are up to. I still want to see what's happening with the Cobras or whatever team. You know, naturally you should be supporting Gauteng or nothing else. But I mean, I don't want to get into the Lions being the only team you need to worry about. Is what's happening in those meetings right now? Are they panicking about potential criminals like Flip? Because he's being forced to be a criminal.
No, he has been, and it's a very Bonnie and Clyde situation, and I do feel for him, one of the great criminal masterminds of our time.
Yeah.
With his VPNs. But you know what? Like, I figure if I don't get paid for my media work, then no one should get paid for their media work. So I'm actually all fine for it.
Unbelievable.
You know, there's this major shift in what's happening with traditional media and old school media who've built massive businesses out of rights, and they pay a lot of money for those rights. And I think what's been quite stark is in the UK they're falling apart because of the 3 p.m. kickoff, and no one's going to be able to watch, you know, Ronaldo's debut live, where we get so much sport. And I think when you're out of South Africa, you start realizing, as much as we want to knock DSTV and criticize them and multi-choice, Super Sport is unparalleled in terms of, it doesn't show all the sports, but it shows the sports we want. And I think you start to realize how big that is. And the reason so many people are playing sports and bypassing this and doing that is because there's these massive, massive contracts in place. And, you know, we want to get around and we want to get access to sports, and we're going to find it. I think that there should be an option for expats, to be honest with you, to be able to stream South African sports. Why not? What? They're going to lose a couple of thousand here and there, you know, watching a game, you know, that we host the rights to. Why wouldn't you allow it or unsell it? So you've got to start to think a bit more globally than South Africa.
Such a good point there, Flip, as well. Paulo, I mean, I didn't think I'd say this about you in our lifetime, but great point. Because, Flip, now it costs an arm and a leg, right? Especially if you like me, kind of messed up your financial situation in your 20s, and in your 30s you're kind of getting back on your feet. Is €200 a month for me? It's murder on the dance floor. I'm trying to get married maybe someday. I'm trying to lay a platform to maybe attract a lady so that I'm like, hey, I'm not. Whereas for you, if you're in France, yes, it's a lot of money. Like, listen, we're in COVID and people lost jobs. I'm not disrespecting that. But, you know, it's very different to say €200 than to say 2,000 Rand. Those are not the same kind of thing. So just your thoughts on what Paulo said about a package for the people who've gone up north.
Yeah. Well, 3 things there. First of all, 2,000 Rand is probably about €50 these days.
You're right.
Second thing, right. after your admission of the blue pill, getting married, I would not put high hopes on that. And then the third point is that I agree with, you know, just you know, open up to things. For me, the most frustrating thing for me is actually you get on Twitter and I follow Supersport. You know, this is not an endorsed chat. Yeah. You follow Supersport, and then there's like a video of Bulls guy tackling someone.
Yeah. And
you want to watch the video, and they go like, "Well, this video is not allowed in your country." You're like, mate, like, where are we living here? Did Paul Kruger designed the infrastructure of this place? It's like, come on, man, get over yourself. It's not like I'm gonna move back to South Africa just to watch, you know, a little Twitter feed. So it's like, yeah, it's very, very stupid.
But it's not that complicated, because now, especially if it's a payment thing, no worries. I'm I've got Netflix. It's in America. I just do it on my credit
I do
card.
think
So
it's a right. It's like a rights and an image rights and all those, as Paulo said. But I mean,
it is very annoying. I mean, we can do better.
Amazon, mate, Amazon is coming
Oh,
for them. Amazon
Bezos.
is gonna eat them, mate.
I tell you what, Amazon needs to do is get a better, like, just their streaming thing right now is a mess. Get better content, because I got Amazon for a month. I'm the guy who's had Netflix for it's month number 5. I've only watched one program on there. It was the Ronnie Coleman documentary. Not sure if you've seen it, The King. So I've just basically
Lightweight.
yeah, buddy. Oh, so you have seen it. Shout out, Ronnie. Yeah, let's wait. Hold on. I've got something for that. Yeah, buddy. Oh, you're like the only guy who's seen it.
Is he the bodybuilder?
Yes!
Yeah, watch it. That's
what this
fantastic.
is.
No, listen. That's disrespectful right there, Paulo. And by the way, Paulo, great human being. He's Mr. Olympia.
Okay, is Mr. Olympia. Okay, I'm sorry.
He's the king.
But just to like quantify for everyone else, that's the bodybuilder documentary.
Oh, I see what you're saying there.
You know, not everyone is like sports geniuses like us.
No, that's true. That's true. That's very, very true. And that's why Paulo works with proper people. I'm not a professional. That's very, very true. Yeah, buddy. So yeah, I'm also pumping here. If you can probably see it now. Anyway, I don't want to go on about myself and how chiseled I am. To that rights issue. Come on, guys. Come on. Our Oaks want to watch the Bulls smashing the Sharks,
Especially on Twitter. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, I can sort of understand. I mean, there should be some sort of pay-per-view platform. Why not? You know, for a game here and there to watch online. But the social media stuff, I mean, what does it cost you? I mean, that's content, right? That's how you spread who you are. You know, just let the guys watch a tackle, man.
Having said that,
Listen, it's a bit weird.
It is weird. Supersport are doing, Paulo, you've nailed it. They do an incredible job because, hey, let's not just think it's them. Sky Sports will not show you some interviews online either here. Like, I want to watch stuff. This is not available in your country, and I do get furious in the face. It is not good. It is not good. All right.
Shout out to Amazon as well if they're looking for some content. I know a guy.
There we go. I don't know which side to point. Me and this guy here.
You were on my left, so yeah.
Okay, that guy. I think you have to do the other side so it looks on screen. There we go. It's like a fusion on Dragon Ball Z. Not sure if you've seen that, which is anime actually. So I don't know if you've ever watched anime, but you must be very careful. It's only anime if it's in or from Japan. If it's not from Japan, and James didn't know this, and I don't want to say James is racist, but he started going towards that South Korean stuff is anime as well. But it's actually, Paulo, I believe, anime influenced.
That's what I read off Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's like champagne
Yes.
and sparkling wine, or port and fortified wine. I don't know.
Yeah, well, whatever
If
it
it's
is.
not from port, so what do you call it? I don't know.
Speaking of which, Flip, I'd imagine you being rugby royalty now in France. You've been to Champagne and done that whole thing. I mean, you that guy?
I've been to a few chateaus.
Oh, here we go. Oh, he doesn't even. Hey.
Not wine from chateaus.
You love to hear it. All right, so England, India cancelled. Hey, so forget that. They don't care about cricket.
It's done because they said after much discussions with the ECB, the sponsors and all that, they even put up a big board that said not going to happen because India, they say a couple of their touring staff caught COVID. So now the thing to figure out is do England take the win, or it's because of unforeseen circumstances?
So, Flip, I'll tell you where this one gets interesting, and maybe a better question. If I was a proper journalist, I should have asked this immediately up front. Do the players get consulted? Right? Do you consult the players when we're talking sort of about this? Do they come to you guys because it's your money on the line, whether it be game fees or whatever? Do they consult you, and do you get paid if a game doesn't get played? Those are two things I'd want to know.
I don't know. Probably a certain group, like the senior players group or something, could get consulted. But we've all seen the COVID things play out over the time, and I imagine that they just took a decision overhead and told the guys hard lines: you're not playing anymore. Your uncles, dads, aunties, physiotherapist tested positive 5 weeks ago. No more games.
Yeah,
you know.
fair enough. Fair enough. I hear you.
I'm probably saying I don't know. I don't know the details, so I don't want to judge. But no, they would like if it's decisions on a season and what we do and if it's worth the team. We remember the Springboks being in that situation last year when they said they don't want to play rugby championship because it's just too dangerous for them. They haven't played rugby in 8 months. That would be decided by players. I think if it's a more long-term strategic decision, but still something that needs to be taken on the whim, it would probably be from authorities.
Oh, that's tough.
Somewhere.
All right, Senzo, what you got, pal?
But the wording around it, like the headline and the wording around it is very tricky because they say the 5th test will not go on due to India being unable to field the team. So...
Yeah, but that's Sky Sports. Like, let's blame them. They're the bad guys. Cricket matters. We are the home of cricket.
So that's.
But hey, nobody does that better than the UK, though. Like, hey, it's everyone else's fault. Sky Sports is magnificent at what they do, aren't they? Probably the best in the world.
I agree with Paulo saying Supersport's not bad. Supersport's not bad.
I tell you what,
great quality,
Supersport's brilliant as a
engineers.
package. Yeah, no, Supersport in terms of broadcasting, and also I think you do have to move to France and go to chateaus to kind of realize that we get it really, really cheap here. By the way, this morning I watched the NFL on Supersport, right? Because I love the NFL, and we will talk about that in a bit.
Shout out Tom Brady.
Hey, Brady, listen, I'm going to leave. Okay, let's get into it straight away. I love that you've gone there. They're probably going 17-0. I don't know, did you catch any of it?
I caught, luckily I could see NFL highlights, for example, in France. No one worries about that.
And you would think with their history with America, that would be the tough one. But okay, and I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe once COVID opens up, what we do is let's maybe get a couple more bottles of red from Stellenbosch across to the TV guys, and let's all be reasonable here. Let's watch the Bulls smash the Sharks tomorrow. We do have an incredible, for what we pay, for what we get, because hey, as you know, you pop over to America or to France, it is pay-per-view and it's cable and it's for real expensive.
It's expensive. It's expensive, mate. It gets quite expensive as soon as you see it as you pay-per-view. If you go into pay-per-view and you want to go a full Saturday of sport, it gets quite expensive, mate. It gets rather expensive. There we go. It's NFL time again.
It is.
Good. Full stadiums. See the look on Brady's eyes. Minute 20 left on the clock. Easy game.
Oh, I mean, that guy is just incredible, right? He's 44 years old, and I was watching the last 2 minutes. Obviously, forget the Dallas kicker. He gets it. It'll come to me now. Leidler, I think his name is. And Dak had That's a very, very good point. I mean, outside of Pele, probably Brazil's greatest export.
And has more rings than Thanos.
Yeah, he does have 7 rings. Shout out to Tom Brady.
Where did it all go wrong for Tom Brady?
That's true.
You know, he's going to look back and go, where did I get this wrong? Poor guy.
Paulo, you are saying it there. That is absolutely correct. Where did it all go wrong? I mean, at some...
Not to go home.
It is his football. It is like I hear you there. That is tough.
Life.
And he's got 2 kids. Now, I mean, let's talk about it though. Brady this morning executes, like you said, minute 20 to go, no problem. Plus, at the end, a lot of people are thinking, hey, what if you mess up the snap? Why don't you just kick it on third? No. We're going to keep bleeding the clock. I'm going to throw this thing out, leave about 10 seconds for Dak Prescott, whose knee. So he's got the ankle. 2 surgeries on that and the shoulder. There was all that worry. Do you watch Hard Knocks at all?
I do. I love Hard Knocks, and we were inspired to watch Hard Knocks by a guy called John McFarland, who was the Bulls defense coach when we were there. Just to prepare us for what a preseason would be like. And it was sort of like that. But great. That's great entertainment. Hard Knocks is great entertainment.
You seen this year's one?
I have not seen this year's one, but there's an Amazon series as well. What is the Amazon series
All
called?
or Nothing.
That's in the same.
All or Nothing.
All or Nothing.
And people are saying there is a spoiler for Arsenal fans. It's nothing. So yeah, NFL's back. Flip, good stuff here. That moustache, by the way, Jimbo. Let's maybe just get that moustache back on. The NFL's back. Obviously, we will be talking. Flip, who do you support in the NFL, by the way? Let's get this.
I'm
going.
a Packers fan.
Green Bay,
I'm
Aaron
a
Rodgers.
Green Bay
You're
Packers
cheesehead.
fan.
Yeah, you're a cheesehead. I mean, listen, Aaron Rodgers is trying to ruin Brian Gutekunst's life. I mean, every interview he did, he was on Pat McAfee yesterday talking about a quarterback of my ilk should have a decision. I mean, he's not going to stop, right? Aaron Rodgers is off the leash now.
Yeah. He's great hair, by the way.
Superb
I
hair.
mean, total inspiration for the moustache as well. I can only dream to have a moustache like Aaron Rodgers, you know. But
Yeah.
he's a man. He's a man on top of his career. Probably about time that he moves away from Packers. So either Packers or he himself can win some Super Bowls. I mean, that's the big thing. I've been supporting them for ages. Carry them around, and just nothing comes home. You know, but
Yeah.
tough to swallow.
That is tough. Jordan Love is going to have some big shoes. I mean, it's gone Brett Favre, it's gone Aaron Rodgers, and then Jordan Love is plus. Listen, in the NFL, you know how this works. If they move up to get you, the pressure is we expect you to not only be Brett Favre but to be Aaron Rodgers at least. That's the starting point. Boy, oh boy, what's he? 4-time MVP. That is going to be tough for Jordan Love. Tough season for you coming up. Listen, I'm a Minnesota Vikings guy, so good to know this because I believe we have the best running back in the league in Dalvin Cook, but we do have maybe the Kirk Cousins. Are you kidding me?
What a random choice, Minnesota
don't-
Vikings.
And by the way, they've paid. I tell you what happened there is these guys from in university. I had these guys. Every single American, by the way, is your size. They came over to Port Elizabeth of all places where I was studying, and they said, "All right, none of this nonsense. This is who you support now." I've kind of always liked the NFL, but they said, "No Brady nonsense. Is this who you support?" And I'm a loyal guy. I support my team. That's what it is. We are going nowhere with Kirk Cousins, who has been paid, by the way, $65 million for 2 years. Shout out to Dak Prescott, $75 million this year.
Mate, see, that's where athletes gets paid. They get paid, man. You want to talk rugby? What they get paid?
They do get paid. All right,
It's
Flip.
crazy.
Listen, we got plenty to come on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, myself, Flip and Amaba, the boys, we got about half an hour left, so you can join us for the rest of the MKT show on the other side. There are very few shows where NSYNC, the Taliban, and VPNs will get mentioned. This is that show. Now, my name is MKT. This is the MKT Show. Before we get back to Flip, is that remember the podcast is available on cliffcentral.com, the Cliff Central app, or wherever you get your podcast. All right, Flip. Now, you probably thought I was just a golf guy and I could probably help you out with your golf game. I'm not sure if you've seen this, by the way. It's probably something which I should have let you know. But you're a sports aficionado. I mean, a bunch of children, people that haven't even barely come out of puberty are going to be in the final at Flushing Meadows. How great are these two young women?
Mate, and how good looking is Emma
Yes.
Radanushi. Sorry for messing up your name, love. But
Listen, I got to tell you, I do have a weakness for Baltic and Eastern European. So I have dated Slovakian before.
She's British.
But that surname is incredible.
But she's British Canadian, yeah. So sorry to spoil your fun there.
Boring. They are Canadians are the most boring people in the world. Not sure if you've been to Canada. If not, don't waste your time.
First qualified to make a Grand Slam final.
So people are saying the first likable British star of all time. So
if she wins,
no, we can't have that. Where's the other lady from?
She's from like Venezuela.
Leila Fernandez.
Yeah.
No idea where she's from. We can guess.
Like Venezuela.
Stigmatize where she's from. But,
Venezuela. Is what I'll be honest, I gave up on tennis a while ago. I think it's incredible that 18 and 19-year-olds.
Didn't she beat like everyone to get into the final?
She beat like Naomi Osaka. She sent
I'm over Naomi Osaka anyway.
Azarenka packing, and who's number 2 in the world in females tennis? She sent her packing to get to the final.
Some people. Yeah, listen, like whoever you are is to 18 and 19 in the final, dude.
No, she's Canadian.
She's Canadian, yeah.
She's Canadian. So, but like she says, but she's like so she's got 3 flags next to her Twitter bio.
Yeah.
But she plays under Canada's flag.
What flags does she have there?
Yeah.
She's got like a Venezuelan one. She's got one from the Philippines or Czech Republic.
It's Philippines.
Philippines, and then there's Canada.
So hey, Osaka and her are doing it for Asia right now. That is awesome. That is awesome because that's never really been like a tennis thing for Asia. So that's great representation for them. But hey, 18 and 19 in the final. Like, hey, Francois Steyn, right, is guy who never gets enough credit in this country. Is that a lot of people can't put 2007 into context. Is he was 19 doing the biggest thing in rugby.
19 years old, man.
Kylian Mbappe.
He was 19. Couldn't even grow a beard. Won a World Cup.
And just, do you know him at all? I mean, what kind of guy is he to be that successful?
We know. We played a little together for the Springboks. Great guy. Loves a good laugh. Loves a good joke. Enormously talented. Like it's, this is like one of these things. He would, not the most fittest guy in the world, and didn't press too much in the gym and stuff, and then put him on a rugby field. He's the strongest. He's the fastest. Kicks the furthest. Who can forget whatever, he kicks things from 60 odd yards out. The original Lions winner, because he actually kicked the penalty that started to change the game way back then. Why are we even speaking about the Lions? They're not existing anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No one cares.
But yeah, great, all-round great guy. And I mean, he moved back to the Free State just for fun of it. I mean, what a guy.
Yeah, listen, I played against him in school. I remember seeing him. So he was a year younger than me. And we went down. I mean, that Grey Bloom trip, I don't know. Are you guys kind of, we don't want to come down on that train trip. Nobody wants to do it. But do you guys set it up? I don't know if you've thought about this, so that your youngsters are playing golf foot on that ice out there. Because we obviously, as the first team, we got to be in our blazers out here looking like we're accountants. You got to go down. And we are freezing at that stage. Like the Midlands is cold, but my God, Bloom, it's done different there. Do you set it up so we have to watch your youngsters and like, oh my God, if they're this tough, there's no way?
Yeah, it's like reverse psychology. It's so cold that you freeze and then you don't feel anything.
Got you.
It's actually, but yeah, if you talk about that, that's probably why I still have nerve damage in my feet these days, is growing up on those 8 o'clock morning games. Nothing is fun about it. No one watching it is having fun.
Yeah, listen, Flip, and I guess this must be a part of just your life, is that it's quite hard to be, I would imagine, I don't know, to be part of a dynastic family. It's like, was it just like, okay, he's your dad, so you're playing rugby, it's like it's out of your hands, just forget about interpretive dance or whatever you're into, is you are going to get up in the middle at minus 15 degrees at 6 years old, Kortbroek, and I imagine they force you guys at 6 years old to play in short sleeve shirts because you aren't St. Anne's or St. David's.
Excuse me?
It's real men up down there. Is you got to play in short. Hey, is that what's happening in your family? Like, just your dad's like, okay, this is what's
first of all, there was like there's Afrikaans shops and then there's shops for the rest of the people in South Africa, and long sleeve stuff do not exist in Afrikaans people's shop. You get the as you grow up, you get some buttons, and you get the short sleeved checkered shirt. That's when you made it. But yeah, that's definitely how it works. I was fortunate. I was never forced. In my life to play rugby. We did all the sports: cricket, rugby, tennis. What else was there? Even played hockey, field hockey. Also, lucky enough to I went to primary school in a place called Kimberley. And the selection of random sports, as you can imagine, is not that vast. So yeah, creative dancing or even debating was not. Debating was a fist fight during first break. But yeah, we could choose any sport we would like, and then obviously went towards the one we were the best at.
Yeah, listen, by the way, I got to tell you, not sure if you can see this now, I got a field hockey stick. You thought I was just, yeah, it's going to happen. So I've got everything here. Now, tell me this. I want to know, as that whole situation, it is interesting to me, just to finish it off, is you think you could choose, but I mean, it's your dad, it's your older brother. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to be that guy who, as your dad's walking around town now, because he's wearing the classic Springbok jersey, and you don't want to be the Fanamava, especially with you being named after him, the guy who goes, no, you know what? I'm gonna go into marketing. You don't want to be that guy. Plus, in your family, it's not like you're like me, because I'm just 178 centimeters. I'm walking around. People are like, who cares? No women want that. That's tiny. I'm not sure if that's a lady or a guy. Whereas you look like your dad, and you're gonna stand out whether you are in Berlin, Brazil, or South Africa. There is no way you were getting away with it. I like that you think you had a choice, though.
Yeah. Shout out to Amsterdam for me feeling normal. Everyone's still. It's such a great place. You are probably right. You were never going to go against a family of playing rugby, and it was the main thing to do back in the day, and we all just normal humans who like to do what everyone else does when you're young, and then when you get a little bit older and you get a little bit more rebelly, you think you want to do something else. But I just loved rugby from day one. I knew where I was at every big game. 1992 when the Springboks beat France over here in France. I know where I was sitting in '95 in the World Cup final. So it was love at first sight.
That's awesome. Senzo, what you got for us, pal? It seems Senzo has some breaking news.
So a bit of breaking news. So the ECB chief executive has spoken out, and it looks like that test is rescheduled. But they said it could be treated as a one-off rather than part of the series. So they are going to play this test. They've just postponed it, not cancelled it.
Now that becomes interesting. Is why would they term it like that? Because it's obviously about money. It's just like what's happening now. Do you think India don't want to pay their guys for winning a series or winning another game? Because why would they make?
So the chief executive Tom Harrison of the ECB goes, I think a standalone situation. We've also been offered other options. Being a few hours into this, we'll probably need to take a look. The glass is half full version of this is the prospect of playing a once-off test against India as a focal point on this ground to come back and give the fans the thing they've been missing out on this time. Let's try and work on that and see if we can deliver it. It would be a wonderful spectacle. It would be the only good news that comes out of today, of a day like this.
So now, Flip, as a player, right, and Paulo, I'll come to you now because I'd love to hear just a broadcasting mind kind of talk about what you think is happening with the rights that side. But Flip, from you as a player now, is the leadership council going to speak to the rest of the team? Or because, like, whether it's about money or not, is there are guys who just want to play cricket and want the honor of beating England away. Like, as a player, what do you think happens now? Like, what are the players thinking now if you take yourself as a sportsman into that mindset?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I agree with you. There definitely will be a part of the players going like, mate, we've had this thing, and the Indian side playing to whitewash England and the English side playing to level the series and save the series. Block out 5 days of cricket, that type of things. It's obviously, that's the competitive spirit in all of us, as sports people. That's why we are here. That's why we are watching, Shout out to 10,000 people. And the thing is, so that's the bad part of it, because now the ECB has taken a decision, aka the ECB has received a little envelope at the back end to make this test disappear. Make it part of a one-off somewhere else, because everyone else is involved in IPL, so it's not going to be fair. But we still need the money from Sky Sports for showing the cricket, so we just play some match with people no one knows. That's probably the long part of it.
Yeah.
Pablo would probably know more about that.
Yeah. Hey, I know what's going to happen. You've actually nailed it. I know what they're going to do. You've nailed it. It's about the money. So what they're going to do is position it as, hey, guys, a test match to open up for IPL in Dubai. Let's do it like that. That's exactly what they're going to do. Because it's about money, right? Is Dubai's going to pay whatever you want. Oh, England, come here. Yeah. Oh, stay here. We get to advertise Dubai to a market we never would have. And then you sell it as, it's the the real version of cricket. England, India opens up for the IPL
or
in
the
Dubai.
T20 World Cup.
Blah, 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 blah. Nailed it already. That's what's going to happen. All right. I mean, let's move on to another complete shambles of a situation, by the way. Flip, you been to Barcelona?
I've been. Lovely place.
You been to the Nou Camp at all?
I've never been.
That's a
Apparently
pity.
it's burning at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was about to say, listen, I went when the derbies were real. It was like the Raoul days, right? I was going there. I've been to a couple of derbies, both at the Nou Camp and at the place where the king basically just funds whatever they want in Madrid. But are you seeing this Barcelona situation? And Flip, before I come to you, Paulo, you're keeping an eye on this. Had a tweet yesterday from James saying that even with the current situation and everything that they've done, it's still £1 billion in debt. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, what? How bad was this?
And before I get into that, I get very worried every time you go off into the worst sportsman's warehouse everywhere and come back with a new piece of kit. Eventually you're going to come back, you got that shaking thing.
Yeah.
I'm worried about what comes out of your little hole there. Because you don't know. He goes off camera, he just disappears.
Yeah, and it's
and he's
sudden.
like furrowing in a box, and he comes back with another. And that looks like it was stolen from a schoolgirl. Like, I got to be honest with you, that doesn't look like it was bought.
Well, I mean...
I'm checking Yusuf Abramji's tweets here to find out who's mugging. But
You're a terrible person, Barlow.
and then on top of Barcelona, they still have the audacity this week to say that they were considering buying Neymar. They'd put in a bid. I mean, it's quite ludicrous. Barcelona as well gotta hate that Griezmann leaves and then cuts his hair, because surely Griezmann with e-boy hair, because that's what that hairstyle's called, e-boy hair.
Is that emo boy?
I don't know what.
Yeah,
I don't know if the emo stands for, if the E stands for emo. It's called the e-boy
All right,
hairstyle.
before you get going here, Paulo, I know a person who will certainly know that. Flip, obviously you were raised on the battlegrounds of Bloemfontein, -15, 6 years old. We don't care. Get outside and walk to school. But James Ilsley is a man who went to a scam of a place called AFTA. Not sure if you've heard about it, Flip. It's a place where they get parents that have worked really hard to actually have disposable income to take their kids to do nothing for 3 years, just so they don't have to have responsibility and drink sort of lattes and just have man buns. But James is definitely the type of guy. He's got K-pop. You heard of K-pop? Yeah, it's the
say
Korean.
half, sorry.
Yeah, it's the Korean
Is
pop.
it- I thought it's cornflakes, same as cornflakes.
No. I mean, it's the same. It's probably just as addictive. I mean, cornflakes are addictive.
Flip's now going to have all the K-pop fans trolling him.
Yeah,
He's done now.
You
You
don't
guys
know
set
what
him up. You guys stitched him up.
you don't know what you've
You're
just done.
done now. Yeah.
You will not be allowed into a Kia factory anywhere.
What is K-pop?
Well, it's. I mean, here's a man who can explain it for you, and he will certainly know what an e-boy haircut is. James, obviously, let's start on the K-pop. You want to educate a guy who's actually Afrikaans, unlike James, who's never. He didn't know that Kortbroek existed before this. By the way, worst representation of Afrikaans families you can ever imagine. James, just your thoughts on. Let's start off explaining what is K-pop, James. Maybe you can explain that.
So K-pop is Korean pop, and it is music. It's a genre of music that's produced in Korea, it's essentially taken the world by storm. Flip, I don't know if you've heard of BTS. Maybe not. They're pretty big around the world. They have millions and millions of fans. That's what K-pop is. It's now a whole new thing that people are into.
All right, Flip. So that's what's happening. That guy there, his mom spent like her entire life savings. That guy there who can't do a thumbs up. That guy there is that is the guy whose mom, she spent her entire life savings so he can go to that scam place called After. Can you believe it? All right, James. So that's one part of it. Now you're going to tell us the e-boy haircut.
So let me tell you, right? E-boys. So there's two types. There's e-boys and e-girls.
All right, go ahead.
Is it boy with a Z? Is it boy with a Z?
Yes, yeah. To be cool, it is boy with the Z. And it's
Heard
it's
enough.
referred to as people who use the internet a lot. Those are e-boys and girls. But it's transformed in recent years to mean not so much that. It's more like, I don't know how to explain it without offending an entire group of people.
So this is basically where this situation reaches a crescendo.
Yes.
Is that it was my soon to be 11-year-old daughter that told me what e-boys and e-girls are, and she knows more than James.
Yeah.
So therefore, an 11-year-old knows more than James, not just about this, but I'm pretty sure about more.
That's not a surprise. That's not a surprise. So please go ahead, Paulo, and you may actually have some knowledge there about what e-boys.
I don't know. I just know that Griezmann has an e-boy hairstyle.
All right,
That's-
James. Again, you have.
What happened to Flyboys?
They weren't that the people who used to dance with J-Lo? Jennifer Lopez on
that was the Fly Girls. Shout out the Wans.
Fly
brothers.
girls. Sorry.
Yes, that was
B-boys,
Jennifer.
fly girls. Put your hands in
B-boys,
the
fly
air.
girls.
That's it.
Yes, Fly Girls. They were on what was the Wayans brothers show?
In Living Colour.
In Living Color. J Lo. If people don't know it, she obviously was a part of that whole mix. She was part of the Fly Girls, I think. I may or may not
Jenny
be wrong,
from
but
the block.
Jenny from the block. She's just got divorced. Thoughts and prayers to her. A-Rod. Yeah, that is tough. But I mean, he has got lots of championships and is a Yankee legend, so that'll be fine.
So, e-boy. The
Yes.
term this e-boy and e-girls are slang terms for young women and men, respectively, who are active internet users, often stereotyped as emo-styled anime and gaming fans, trying to get attention on social media.
So that's where I was getting to.
I mean, but listen.
Via Bloemfontein.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it was
saying.
It wasn't exactly the easiest way of getting there.
I mean,
The easiest way getting there. Nailed
okay,
it.
But Flip, you hear this now.
Can we mute that, Mike?
Yeah, okay. All right, James. Again, you've tried to derail the show.
Can we cancel them for just calling e-boys and not e-people, please?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Hey, are we about it or not? Do we
why?
care?
Whoever, 2021. Come on, man.
This is big time journalism here from a guy, and you went to Cambridge. So if this guy says it, he's thought about it.
Investigative journalism.
Massive. Hey, you seen Devilsdorp? Have you heard about it?
I have not. I've as you know, I'm a very big fan of you guys, listening to Shout Out in the Morning.
Yeah.
And I've heard on the show, but then again, living in France, jumping over the hurdles a little bit more complicated. although I might be lying, that I have watched Showmax before, so I might get onto that. Yeah.
Okay, because
Do you know why it was safe with Showmax for them to actually do Devilsdorp? Because I don't think they know how to get Showmax in Krugersdorp. So I think that was why they knew it was safe. They're not going to get chased by Satanists.
There's no internet there.
that is a real thing. And by the way, That's unbelievable from what Paolo's just said. So just so you know, James is from sort of that Devilsdorp place, and
my whole family lives in Krugersdorp. I've got family that.
Whoa!
I've got family that where she stayed, that
Yes.
apartment where she stayed. I've got family who've got businesses 2 or 3 roads away from there. It's the freakiest thing for me to watch because one of the townhouses where one couple got killed is across from where my sister used to stay. It freaks me out. And when you watch them drive around, they drive roads that I know. I'm in Krugersdorp weekly because my whole family stays there.
Hey,
It's not for sissies, guys. It's not.
So Jimbo, lots of Portuguese people that side, or what's going on?
Not that I knew of.
They're not in. They're all in Eagle Canyon now, which is Krugersdorp adjacent.
And I refuse to.
Just
Listen, my aunt
Jason.
lives in Eagle Canyon. I refuse to go there. It's like no. They're like I grew up in a place called Danefern, and now they think they're the stuff. They are not.
It's actually true story. They accept euro in Eagle Canyon now. That's how many Portuguese.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, you can pay
Also,
in euro.
there are rules when it comes to the West Rand, right?
No, that's a lie.
No, there are. So it's fine up until a point. You can go to Eagle Canyon, you'll be fine. You know, through Honeydew, Little Falls. But once you go over the mountain, that's where no. That's no.
All right, James. I refuse to go anywhere.
That's where my family are. So we're
Where?
over the mountain.
Oh,
Past
are they-
that Little Falls, we're through there.
No, I didn't realize this.
You can feel the temperature change.
No, I didn't realize you had a problem with Portuguese people, James. I mean, if there's a big community, why don't you have more Portuguese friends? Because you're a terrible representation of the Afrikaans community, first of all. I mean, we know that.
Afrikaans light.
Yeah, Afrikaans light, really. I mean, we got Flip here. That's a proper what an oak should be. But now, why aren't you friends with Portuguese people if the community's so big? And did you get sucked into Devilsdorp at all?
Are these really questions you're asking me?
Yes.
So just like you, I'm repulsive to people, so I only have like 2 friends.
Yeah.
So it's nothing against Portuguese people. I just only have 2 people that are willing to hang out with me. In terms of Devilsdorp, I'm good. I'm still vibing. I'm vibes. Remember?
Cool. Not really an answer. Paolo, your family could have been sucked into that. Like your sister lived across the road.
But not just like that's what freaked everyone out about Devilsdorp because they were just going through and finding numbers and going, well, make an appointment, and then Cyril killed them.
Yes.
That's why it freaked everyone out, and especially when you know the places, it's even scarier. It freaked me out. Like I know that the Catholic Church in Krugersdorp, a lot of the stuff happened around there. I know people got baptized and married at that church.
What?
Yeah.
So are you like where they did it? Flip, listen, I don't want to kill this for you.
This all happened while Willem Albert's biggest export product of Krugersdorp was playing in Paris, probably. Because that guy's big. No one's going to come fool around knocking on your door thinking, I mean,
Willem
that
Alberts.
Krugersdorp, that's a dangerous place, man.
Yeah, hey, listen, Krugersdorp prime time, sort of where James is from. That whole, as soon as you go past Eagle Canyon, right? So Eagle Canyon, just so you know, it's a new kind of yuppie golf place, but it's all of like the new money people. Because I don't know if you know, I'm not sure if you were around when South Africa released obviously one of its biggest hits called Load Shedding. So all the guys, all the guys who started selling like generators around that time, all the plumbing oaks, it's all of those guys got money real quick, and they all moved into Eagle Canyon. So it's like a crappy Danefern, right? But they think it's like, you know. I always say this: I'm not coming to your house party if you've got a gazebo and an above the ground jacuzzi. So it's that kind of like we just got money now kind of people. You know those people? So that's what's happening in Eagle Canyon. But once you reach Eagle Canyon, stop, turn around, get back to the northern suburbs. Because as Paolo has told you, if you keep going 12 minutes past that, you will be sort of inculcated in a Devilsdorp sort of situation where the devil comes and knocks on your door, which is your heart, and then you are lost to the world. So that's just me saying that.
Jeez, today has been a dumb show, I've got to be honest with you. Today's been a stupid show.
I have a question for Flip.
Sure.
Before we go.
Please.
So, Flip, this whole Devilsdorp thing becoming a whole thing in the media is fairly recent. Like, it happened a while ago, but it becoming a huge thing now after the book was released and stuff like that. Has it reached overseas or no? Is it just not a thing that's...
No, like most of South African things, it doesn't get
It
out
doesn't
of there,
reach you guys.
It stays. There's one thing that gets out of there. Shout out Dwayne Vermeulen is back.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
That's what I'm gonna say.
That's where to end it off. Let's go.
Drop mic. Go to commercial.
Let's go.
We're done.
Flip. That's the way. Oh, come on, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who was who thought he had freedom and choices at a young age to not play rugby. I mean, Flip, I respect you for that, for believing that you were going to be named after one of the greatest human athletes of all time, and you're going to get... Like, how did you see it playing out? What do you think? You're going to play hopscotch? Visa,
Yeah, well,
this
I
Flip...
probably have insecurities now that I reflect on it.
like, sorry to break it to you live on air, but I mean, you had absolutely no choice, and we are grateful for that, because the years you gave us with the Bulls, the inspiration you are for going to Cambridge, bro, that is amazing. So, Flip, another great long lunch.
Yeah, mate, I love it. Let's get some fake beers in here next time.
Let's...
Somewhat.
Listen,
Sponsor
I do
us,
not...
don't sponsor us.
Shout out to any sponsors, but I mean, you do need to now. I mean, you have kind of said you do know Flip. You do know Fourie de Priya, so maybe we should actually get people. Actually, people would want to see you and him. But if we can get that guy on here, are you kidding? Now that'll be huge booking, because you've done Bulls, you've done Cambridge. If you get the greatest rugby player of all time on here, what do we do then? He's
No
Batman.
pressure.
He's Batman. He's Batman. That's what he is from now. All right, Flip, to you, to the boys. I mean, let's maybe show the boys before we let them go. We can leave Flip on screen. We can just do big time production on the fly. Let's start with Paulo Diaz. Another great week, another great Friday to have you here. What are your thoughts for the weekend?
Sporting Porto this weekend, first Super Classico. Sets up the league nicely between those two games. Between Sporting Porto and Benfica decide the Portuguese league, and to have one so early is quite big. And then both going to the Champions League, and then of course everyone, especially this guy over here, is going to be unbearable even for United fans from 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Now, before we go to that other guy, so great stuff. Flip, we don't need to be like you to watch that big Portuguese derby, because we actually have a Portuguese channel here.
Oh, no, we do.
Oh,
no, Portuguese. No, there's the Portuguese channel, yeah, but they're like the equivalent to SABC2.
Okay.
So you're not getting anywhere.
Not even on Maximo.
Cooking
No,
shows.
not even on Maximo. We have our ways and means.
So we're not better than Flip. I was trying to be better than the French guy.
Yeah, it's very difficult to watch big Portuguese games where every 15 minutes you have to click on another feed on YouTube, and it changes the language and the camera angle. So first half you're attacking there, then 15. Yeah.
Now, I want to be respectful. A lot of people might say there aren't any big Portuguese games. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, that's what it is. All right, so big game. Who we watching this weekend?
Sporting Porto.
Sporting against Porto, so I'll be a criminal because I'll be watching that. I have been to the Dragao. It is an incredible arena, and I support Sporting now because Paulo's my mate. I did support Porto before just because I needed a team and I love football. But yeah, shout out Sporting. Let's go there. So Paulo, great stuff this week. Census Tebe, you're going to be handsome on the weekend. Are you potentially maybe get a haircut? Probably not though.
I don't know actually.
What are you thinking this weekend? Cristiano Ronaldo, do you want to be as handsome as him? Are you going to get a haircut? Are you going to love it?
But yes, with that being said, Ronaldo's gonna do the things, man.
Are you going to buy a Ronaldo shirt? Probably.
Yes, of course.
Are you going to get an original or are you going to go to Waterfront and be that guy?
No, I'm gonna get an original.
Going to get it sent from England, pressed, the Premier League badges. I mean, it's going to cost you the GDP of South Africa.
Ronaldo, boy.
Just saw this now. United have sold 120 million worth of Ronaldo shirts, of which their cut is 13 million. So they've already paid.
They've already paid that,
like
the transfer fee.
1 week salary.
Yeah.
I mean, cheapest creepers. All right. Wow. Flip, good stuff, dude. That moustache, unbelievable. James in the back, to the boys at the back, incredible work. Just probably, hey, Flip, this is the way to end it.
K-pop.
Shout out, James. Yeah, it is so
K-pop.
All right, that's the way to end it. Ladies and gentlemen, from me, from the boys, from a man we're honored to have on the show, Flip Van Amava, the MKT Show. It has been a great week, but for now, we are the hell out of here.
Cheers, guys.